that through the radiance, which was once so bright, be now forever taken from my sight, though nothing can bring back the hour of splendor in the brass, glory in the podcast. We will grieve not, rather find strength in what remains behind. Welcome to Splendor in the Brass. I am the Professor, Professor Ice. I have adopted a new name in honor of the new podcast that we are helming here. Our glory proved too much for simply the Communicast, so we have cast aside the unworthy into that other show, and we have gathered now the most awesome of voices, not just my own, into a new birth, the Splendor in the Brass, a steampunk adventure into entertainment and glory. So I am the developer of Ice Brass Revolution, and you know me well, but I am not alone.
Hi, I'm Mama Donovan, the Texas Steampunk Cauldra, another remnant of the Communicast. And so in case you were wondering, we are still going to do the Communicast. We're just going to save that whole big group for once a month. And so we're going to be showing up like probably second week of the month and the third week. So it's a new schedule, but we're all still together. We didn't actually get a divorce. We worked things out.
Yes. No, we've shunted them aside. We put them at the kiddie table. They were simply not mature enough to hang with us.
Especially if John keeps making racist jokes. Like last week, we saw, if you listen to last week's podcast, Tom was just begging John to stop with the Hitler jokes. And, John's never going to grow out of that, so that's their problem now.
But, Tori, I believe we have a new member, one whose glory alone outshines all three of the members of that other cast.
Ooh, whoever could it be?
Yes. Let us introduce our newest member, Ninja Pirate!
Hello, my name is the Ninja Pirate Magpie, and I am new to this crew of merry little fools who have allowed me to join them in their little merry funs. Professor Ice, you can continue with the Hitler jokes, but be aware they're highly inappropriate.
Well, I prefer poorly timed Holocaust jokes. Like a coughing in a Holocaust museum.
That was like wrong. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like talking about Speedy Gonzalez down in the valley.
What? They love Speedy Gonzalez.
What? They do?
Yeah, okay, literally, the other John, because that's the thing, when I said John, I meant John,
Black
the
Napple
other
101.
guy. Yeah, Black Napple 101, because he's also named John, because, oh, surprise, John is a very common name.
Yes, there's a million of us.
But there's very few Tories, but when I do find them, I take them out, because there can only be one. That's why I killed Toriel on purpose.
Well,
it's like, okay, you either go by Riel or you die.
Wow, okay. You are merciless to your own kind.
Alright. Well, I'm the Ninja Pirate, and my first love in life is comic books, obviously. Because there's a girl like not that love comic books. And I also go by the name of Magpie, if you want to call me. And anyways, I'm here to join and talk about stuff with these fabulous people. Me and Professor Ice are good friends in real life, I guess. Would you say that, Professor Ice, at this point?
Yes, I would say that we are. We've had enough encounters of a personal nature to qualify as friends. Yes.
And we always have the weirdest conversations. So we're gonna just continue this on this channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. I like it. So, in the time, we were not around last week, so we've actually had 2 weeks away. So, Tori, what have you been up to?
I became an adult. Because I got my first job in the 2 weeks since we've last seen each other. And it's a great job. I'm working at the Whitty Museum now. I am an engagement specialist in the HEB Body Adventure. So basically, I help run some of the activities that we have there. And one of my favorite things to do is we have an anatomy table where it's basically we have a digital cadaver on display that you can cut into and look at the different systems. So I explain body systems to the families that come in. It's great. It's wonderful.
Nice.
Wow,
working in a museum.
I know. And
Yeah.
the best thing is that it's a museum, so it has reasonable hours. The latest so far I've had to work is till 8 o'clock.
So,
Yeah, the only thing better than working in a museum is a library.
But you actually have to go to special librarian school, apparently.
So, Tori,
Yeah,
is this
I
your
know.
first job out of college? Is this your first one out of college?
Yeah, this is my first job out of college. Well, first job ever, because before this, it was all volunteer work, essentially. No getting paid.
Interning.
Yeah, essentially.
So it must be nice to be paid for actually using your brain.
Yes. Because my dad's like, what are you going to do, like, when the year starts up again? Because, I took my MCAT, just this past Friday. And so hopefully I'm going to get into med school, in the next year, because I didn't get in for this year, which, well, it makes sense. I wasn't done with all my science classes, but, I was still going to try. But my dad's like, maybe you should look at some internships. And I'm like, Dad, internship time is over. I need a real job.
Yeah. If you're an engagement specialist, one book I recommend, a classmate of mine wrote it, Nina Simon. She wrote Museum. Yeah, Nina Simone. She wrote Museum 2.0. It's a very good museum book. Yeah, she was one of my WPI classmates.
Oh, that's fun. Awesome.
Yeah. But you've heard of her?
What? The name Nina Simone. Wait, isn't she like a singer?
No, she's out in California. She does science museums over in California.
Oh, okay. She just shares a name with the famous Nina Simone, the singer.
That's what that was what I was thinking when I heard that name.
I was like, I didn't know Nina Simone wrote books.
Oh, I didn't even know who Nina Simone is then. Okay. No. Okay. Wow, I'm behind the times.
Yeah.
You crazy kids and your weird singers. Anyway.
From the from the 60s.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And your 60s references, that's before my time and after your time.
Yeah. That's after my time. I'm from the 1860s. Anyway.
So yeah, I got a new job, although I haven't been paid yet. My first payday is this Friday, so
nice.
Excited. Gonna pay for
celebrate?
all the con admissions.
Yes. Very good. Will it lead to greater independence from your parents and family?
Well, having money in general, yeah, but I don't plan on moving out anytime soon. Because...
Free rent.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And for the most part, they plan on me, because hopefully I'll get into med school here in San Antonio, and so, yeah, they don't mind me living with them while I'm in med school.
Wow, that is very handy.
Yeah, also, I'm Mexican, so leaving the house isn't, expected when you're 18.
Yeah. Yeah. Third year of med school is super intense. You'll be very grateful for having support at home, like someone actually making you food, because otherwise you'll forget to eat.
Not me. Other people, I'm sure. Because I even hear that now. It's like, I was working so hard, I totally forgot to eat. I don't even feel like eating. And I'm like, I can't even empathize, because I can't even imagine that. Because I'm like, how does that even happen? Okay, but yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I took the MCAT, got a new job, watched some movies. What did you do, Professor?
Well, I went to see Independence Day Resurgence, the second one. Did either of you watch that one yet?
I'm waiting for the Dollar Theater.
Right, I remember. Okay, so I won't go too much in depth until we've all seen it, then we can talk about it. I'll put it this way, it's not as bad as what the critics say. Like, the critics are all trashing the film. It's not as bad. It's not as good as the first one. No one was expecting it to be. But it is enjoyable. It is worth seeing on the big screen. Go see it. Still in theaters. I still need to see X-Men. I may have missed the boat on that one, unfortunately.
I haven't seen X-Men either, because I normally don't watch the X-Men movies, but,
Yeah, it had Olivia Moon in it. I also missed the second Turtles movie. I still need to go see the second Turtles movie.
The less said about that X-Men movie, the better. It was terrible.
It was. Oh, is it worse than the
the
third one?
Last Stand?
Yes, they're progressively just getting worse.
It is actually worse than Last Stand. Oh, God. Wow.
Yeah, but about Olivia Moon, it is... Okay, it's weird to actually see her in an X-Men movie. Like, in a good way. I'm like, oh, yay, she made it. I remember when she was just the girl on, I think it was X Games? Or, not X Games.
Yeah,
X-Play.
G4. Yeah.
On G4. And I'm like, yay, now she's actually in one of the nerdy movies. Good for her.
Yeah. Apart from that, also watched Durarara. I finally finished off the season 2 part 3. So for people who don't know, Durarara, it's based on a light novel series. It's set in Ikebukuro, Japan. So the first season was 20-something episodes. So for the second season, though, they split it into 3 parts, each one 12 to 13 episodes. So the whole thing is 36, 39 episode season 2, basically. So the whole thing together is, I think, over 60 episodes. It's long, but it's amazing. It is same guys who did Bakuno did Durarara, and it is solid throughout. It's gigantic cast, but every single person has unique personality. Every single person interacts. Every single person has a role to play. It has several of my favorite characters, several of my favorite relationships in anime in it. And the season finale there for part 3 is very satisfying. It has a big focus on Shinra and Celti in part 3, which is great because the first 2 parts were a little light on it. Part 3, it really pays off. And you get, the less interesting parts is like when Mikado, who is nominally the main character, he's a little boring, but you get a lot of very rich casting, a very interesting background on that. It's a really good series. It's all on Netflix. I recommend, it's one of the few series where I recommend the dub to the original Japanese. The dub is perfect. It's got Crispin Freeman, Johnny Young Bosch, Bryce Pembroke. It has all of the really amazing voice actors of like the last 15 years are in this show doing voices, and they all do a very solid job. You can tell them all apart based on their voices. So yeah, go watch that. It's out there. The only other thing I've been watching, I've been on a big Chinese cinema kick. I've been finally catching up on some movies by Zhang Yimou, who's my favorite Chinese director. So I finally saw the story of Chu Ju, the story of Not One Less, and let's see, Curse of the Golden Flower. So those are 3 I hadn't seen yet. What he did one of my favorite Chinese films, which is To Live. To Live is like an epic historical, focuses on a single family. Starts right at the Communist Revolution in the 40s and goes all the way up through the 70s, and it basically just shows them
that sounds great.
over time.
I love that. I love those kind of movies about war and what it does to families.
It's a great period film, very accurate reflection of what life was like. He got in trouble because the Communist Party, when he released that, was like, this movie is too critical of us. You can't make movies like this. It's really good. It has Gong Li in it. Gong Li is considered one of the greatest female actresses in China. She is. That's not hype. That she is an amazing actress. Even if the movie's bad, if she's in it, she does a good job. Like Farewell My Concubine was not a great film. She was in it. She did a good job in that movie. But if Concubine wasn't one of his. But yeah, Chuju is really nice. It's a comedy. It's a kind of a dark comedy in some ways. But Zhang Li plays the main character. It's her fighting through the bureaucracy of the communist system to try to get justice for her husband. So it starts out very light. Her husband is kicked in the groin by the chief of the village. And, okay, simple premise. So all she wants is an apology. And the chief, being a stubborn idiot, refuses to apologize. So the whole story is her climbing up the ladder of the bureaucracy to get someone to make the chief apologize to her husband. And you get the small town village. Zhang Yimou loves North China, like Inner Mongolia. you get to see like really, really tiny farming village. Then you get to see larger town. Then you get to see big city, and it's set in 1992. So you get, you're seeing like Western influence trickle in to the rural areas. You get to see, like very traditional Chinese lifestyle, like how my mom grew up when she was born in the 50s and 60s in Taiwan. Like stuff from her childhood is in that film. And then you see the city, which is actually pretty close to like when I went to Taiwan. It's still very similar to that, where you had that weird mishmash of Asia and America side by side next to each other. And it's very funny. She is very stubborn. She's very determined. She very exemplifies strong female character while still being culturally Chinese. So it's not like the Mulan Disney cartoon, which is very westernized and not very Chinese at all. Like Mulan, the cartoon, is not a Chinese heroine. She's an American heroine with a Chinese name. Big difference. Whereas this story has a very thoroughly Chinese heroine, and it's really good. It's just, look it up. It's a really good one. Curse of the Golden Flower was it was a flashy wuxia film. It's not a bad critique of the communist system. It's a very subversive movie, but you gotta think about it. But I found it a little dark and kind of off-putting. Not One Less, same as Chuju, very good. I could only get that one on VHS, but that one was also another really good one. It's about the Chinese educational system. I also recommend that. I'm going to be watching Road Home next, which is Zhang Ziyi's first film. She was the one in, let's see, Zhang Ziyi, she was in like Shanghai, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and she was in, one of the ones, Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. It's not the Shanghai Noon. That was with the other dude. What was the one that Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan did?
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour. There we go. Yeah, Zhang Ziyi was in, I think, the second or third Rush Hour film.
Cool.
But she's really pretty. I think she's one of the prettier Chinese stars. She just unfortunately never got big in the U.S. But that was her first film, was Road Home. So that'll be good.
So, Professor, have you heard of the new movie that set in Hong Kong? It's like in Hong Kong by Squirm, where it's set 10 years in the future or 20 years in the future of Hong Kong, and it's a set of vignettes about what the future of Hong Kong is going to look like. That's supposedly very controversial right now and coming to America soon. I was reading a New York Times article about it.
Oh, wow. What's the name of it?
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. Gosh. Shouldn't be recommending movies without looking it up, but it was in a New York Times article and it was amazing.
Let's see. Oh, 10, it says, okay, so I just Googled it, so I think it's called 10 Years?
Yeah, 10 years in the future, and it's basically a bunch of vignettes about, it was filmed in 2014, and the scary thing is, a lot of it is relevant to today.
Okay. I will say one thing, one of the things I like about Zhang Yimou is he is a subversive director. He has a lot of his films, Judo, Story of Chuju, To Live, Not One Less, and even Curse of the Golden Flower, which is nominally a wuxia film. He does a lot of strong critiques of the communist system in China. He focuses a lot on, like Curse of the Golden Flower. He portrays communists as being visually opulent but corrupt and rotten in the core. In the others, he portrays their bureaucracy as ineffective and poorly managed and not understanding what the average man wants. So he's very subversive, but I always found that his critiques are Confucian. So he's critiquing communists from the stance of a Chinese. So he's saying, the communists are not Chinese enough, and that is why they are bad. One thing I don't like about some subversives, like some subversive artists, is they tend to say China's not enough like America and that's why it's bad, which I personally take pretty strong disagreement. So I would have to watch this and see like which way is this taking? Is this coming from a China is bad because it's not following good Confucian values, or is this a China should be more like the West and have all this democracy stuff and have its own Trump and Hillary? Is it that, or is it like that? Which I am less inclined to agree with. I'm not as amused by those kind of critiques.
Interesting perspective.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit of a Chinese nationalist, just a little bit. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the communists. I will say that. Like, well, what Mao did. What Mao did with the Cultural Revolution was destroy a lot of history, and that.
I know, cause granted, the reason why I don't say anything about the Cultural Revolutions, I don't know much about it. I do know that it was very everything that we think about as Chinese culture, like all the old clothing, do away with that. Here's the new communist uniforms. I'm like, get rid of your own Chinese history.
Yeah. It was. Sorry, incidents where history is erased annoy me greatly. First Emperor.
That's a red flag right there.
Yeah, Library of Alexandria and the first Emperor of China burning a couple thousand years worth of books. Those are two of the. I am so annoyed by those. Anyway, but enough about me. Ninja Pirate, tell us something about you. Let's get off of this. Let's get off of this heady topic.
All right. So the past 2 weeks have been an interesting 2 weeks for me. I'm an amateur photographer. So and my mom, she's a big photographer too, and so she gifted me one of her throwaway cameras. So I just got this new Luminix DSLR mirrorless camera. So I've been playing with this new mirrorless camera. Mirrorless cameras, for those people that don't know, it's a standard digital type camera. Instead of having a mirror, it has just an LCD screen. You look straight to the viewfinder and take the picture. It's much smaller factor form, but the picture quality isn't as high as the mirror, supposedly. But I'm having too much fun with it. So, in order to celebrate getting this camera, me and my partner decided to go to Big Bend for a photo trip. So I drove down to Big Bend. I ran into a pig with my car. That cost me $500.
The pig or the car damage?
The damage from a pig flying into my car. Ugh.
Okay, because I'm like, was there a farmer who's just like, that haul cost me $500?
No, luckily not. I didn't run over any farmers' pigs. They're just a bunch of wild pigs out in that part. The highlight for the trip for me, though, was I went horseback riding for the first time in my life.
Oh my god. Is that scary?
No, at first I was scared out of my mind. I was like, because they're making it, the guy I was with was scaring us to death. And this other woman next was like, just ignore him. And we got on the horse, and it was like, it was easy to figure out how to control it because they've got really well-trained horses, because obviously they deal with tourists all the time. So you just kind of just tell the horse where to go. Was keeping the dang thing from eating all the time was a big problem on that trip. The dang thing would eat every 2 minutes when we had a chance. And I think the worst part of the horseback ride, though, was in the middle of the ride, we got caught in a hailstorm. So you're on a horse, getting pelted by hail. You're covered head to toe in water, and you're like miles away from your destination. And we just kept walking, and we made it. But I love it. I'm hopefully soon I'm gonna go do a horseback trip to the beach, and we're gonna ride horses on the beach together, because that's supposed to be really fun. But the other thing about Big Bend is, oh my god, it's so photographic. It's so photogenic. I took pages. I don't know. I post them on my Instagram account. Maggie TS is my Instagram account if you want to see my pictures. Shameless plug. Or on my Facebook page. You've seen some of them, haven't you, Professor?
Maybe I would have to double check. I've not done much Facebook stalking of you.
Well, you did see my England pictures.
Yes, I did see a few of those.
Oh, so you did go to England? Because it just took me until a few seconds ago, hear you saying Big Bend. So I thought okay, so I got a camera, let's go to Big Ben, as in in England. I was like, wait, aren't you? You said you live in Austin.
Okay, so I was just warned to keep away from the mic. Okay. So, no, Big Bend in Texas. But a few weeks earlier, I had to go to England for work.
Oh, okay.
And I only had my iPhone there, so I only took iPhone pictures. So the quality is not great. iPhone is great, but it doesn't take the best pictures. But other than that, I went and saw the new little Nemo Dory movie, Saving Dory.
Yes, or Finding Dory. Yeah.
Finding Dory.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Yeah.
Amazing. I loved it. And have you guys talked about the end of Game of Thrones? Because I just saw the end of Game of Thrones, and I about peed my pants. It was.
I'm one of those I'm one of the weird people who doesn't watch it.
Oh.
Same here, but only because I wanted to, but then my family got a new provider and we didn't have HBO anymore, and it was like 3 seasons in, and I was like, I can't find it.
Oh, I understand. No.
No, but it was funny though, because when my dad watched season 1, but it was like towards the beginning and like towards the middle of season 1, so people were just starting to gain interest in Game of Thrones, but it wasn't like a big explosion of, oh my god, the next pop culture sensation. So I would just walk in every few minutes and be like, hey dad, what are you watching? Child gets stabbed. And I'm like, I'm leaving now. Then like 2 weeks later, I come in, hey dad, what are you watching? Other stuff, people just puking up blood, and then just like, people being horrible, and then I'm like, and I'm out.
So
that's I think that summarizes the show beautifully. Child being stabbed. Yeah, that's Game of Thrones. Yeah.
No, it was when I got into it in season 3 because I got to make up for some crap that happened with my cable provider. My cable provider gave me a free HBO subscription to calm me down, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch the show now. And I went back to her and said, so it's basically sex and violence. And she's like, yep, it's softcore porn with violence.
What's also funny is that since, like, I didn't know much about it, I thought it was, because it's HBO, and, well, granted, this is on Showtime, but I thought, like, the Tudors and the Borgias, I'm like, oh, that was real stuff. Like, they fictionalize a lot of it, but it's based on real people. I thought Game of Thrones was that, too. So I thought, until I heard something about my dragons, where are my dragons? And I'm like, oh, I guess it's not real. I guess it's 100% fantasy.
Oh no! It actually has some premise in history. It's based a little bit on the War of Roses, where the North comes and saves them. But yeah, it has a lot of fantasy to it too, because dragons and zombies and the ice things that are coming. And anyways, enough about Game of Thrones, because obviously I'm the only Game of Thrones fanatic in this crew. The other things I'm doing this week, I've been playing a lot of A's Brass lately.
Nice.
Yeah.
So basically, when I met John, the way I met John was we were at HavenCon, and I wanted to play an RPG game, and the only one that was available was this game called A's Brass, and I was like, okay, let me go play this.
Oh god, are you gonna don't go super in depth about the nature of this game. I have it on audio. I have the whole thing recorded. Eventually, it will be released, but yeah, until then, the members of this game, we've basically agreed that it's sufficiently traumatizing that we don't go too much in depth on the details.
So too hot for TV.
We made
Oh yes. Oh god, yes.
We made our own Porkies.
Yeah, basically.
Oh my god.
Yeah. There were Tozele in boxes. There was a Tozele in a box, and it was an interesting box. I think you threw a Tishley in a box too.
Of course, a Tishley. I'm like, what did the Tishley do this time?
Yeah. Oh boy. But yeah, no. It was. I've run adult RPGs at cons for a while. Like, I actually started a tradition at San Japan where a Saturday night is adult RPG night, where I will run one adult themed game, and I've been doing that for a good 4 years at least at San Japan. This topped all of them.
Oh,
like
boy.
this went beyond that, and it was great too. I enjoy it because I like it when people will pick up the crazy ball and run with it. Because if I hand you the ball and say yes, you can be pervy, I want you to go off and do pervy things. One of the problems I've had at the San Japan one is people are always reluctant to get dirty and filthy because they're like, oh, but I don't want to offend others. It's like, no, I don't. Just go. Do the thing. If I give you permission to be R-rated or worse, be R-rated or worse. You can't offend me. So this was a great example of that. At the same time, ICE is officially for all ages. So we will not be using it in official marketing materials at all, ever. Period. Because oh god, yeah. Well, parents hear the audio of that game. And it's like, yeah, no, they'll never buy that for their children ever.
It was me just being a twisted little sick thing that night.
Yes, it was glorious.
And people just went with it. That was the scary thing.
Well, you had charisma, and to be fair, everybody else at that table was also a filthy, dirty pervert.
Yeah, pretty much. The whole lot. I mean, come on, it was the guy that introduced me to Yaoi, that showed me a bunch of Yaoi videos at Haven Con. That was at that
Oh my god.
We didn't do any Yaoi in it. Oh, we should have put that in there, though. Oh, we should have put that in there.
No, actually, there was technically Yaoi. There was guy on guy.
There was guy on guy?
The Tozale in the box was male.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so there was Yaoi involved. Oh,
but it wasn't Yaoi that they knew. That's
true. It was anonymous Yaoi.
But,
oh my.
But since then, I've joined John's A's brass game, and I've got to say this. I'm having a lot of fun. I mean, it's a really great system and a really cool universe. I mean, I just love what he's created because, I mean, you know, I've played in some steampunk games. You know, they all follow this traditional kind of steampunky formula. John has kind of taken that formula and turned it on its head by merging it with some anime-like elements with some of the characters. And just the way some of the story runs, it feels just like this amazing, solid... I know I'm stroking your ego right now, John.
Yes, I'm okay with this. Purr. I'm purring it like a kid.
I know, because I'm like stroking like...
but, I mean, John's giving me this opportunity to play this, he's like, here's this character, and, like, I just took it and ran with it, like, and I'm playing this crazy, like, femme fatale, like, scientist, and it's just, I'm having too much fun with it.
Oh, yes, that sounds great. I love femme fatale scientists. Like Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy's my fave.
Yeah, I'm
yes.
kind of channeling a little Poison Ivy there. I mean, she has yet to get really into combat. She just talks her way out of everything.
Nice.
And has manipulated everything. I mean, it's like... But, you know... So, I mean, like I said, I'm having a lot of fun playing his game. And so, I've got to give a shout out to here. A's Brass. It's amazing. If you get a chance to play some of the playtests, do it. It's worth it. It's a really solid system, actually. And it's a really fun universe. I mean, you can do so much fun in that universe. And it has such a wide variety of character types. And some of the other stuff some of the players have come up, like we have this thing called the Butlers Union, I believe it's called.
Yeah, I know. One of the players created that whole cloth. I want to hire him to write some lore for me because, oh my goodness, his imagination is really good.
Oh, it's just, I love the Butlers thing. It's just, he's amazing at playing it too. I haven't come up with anything as good as the Butlers. But anyways, and so I gotta give a shout out there for Ace Brass. The other thing I've been reading, is, I picked up the Suicide Squad, graphic novels. They've been republishing the really old Suicide Squad in line for the movies. And so, for those that don't know, the Suicide Squad obviously is going to be a movie, I think, in August. But it's
August.
It's a comic book series that came out like in 1986, where they basically took the villains and said now they're part of this agency and they're like sending good guy bad guys. And someone just sent me a message.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Anyways, so Suicide Squad, amazing comic book. It was by John Ostrander. I'm probably pronouncing the name wrong. And the original run, just go read it. It introduces Amanda Wallace, and it makes Amanda Wallace, I'm sorry, my little lesbian ways made me just love and fall in love with her. Oh, she's so cute. Anyways, it's just an amazing series that I've been picking up, and I don't want to get into great details because I'm waiting for the movie to come out so I can just rail on it big time. Because, I mean, Deadshot was in it. Deadshot made that series. There's no Bronze Tiger in there. I don't even know what they're doing with the Enchantress, because the Enchantress is like this torn character in there. But yes, I've been reading the Suicide Squad to prep for the movie. And now I've gotten addicted to this new thing that we'll be talking about a little later. Some of you may know it as the Pokemon Go, or as my friends now refer to it as that damn game you adults are playing cartoony games. Alright, so there's my intro, I guess. Wow. You have known a little about me and what I like to do.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Ninja Pirate.
It's nice to meet you all. I mean, obviously I've known John for a while.
Yeah. You are going to become King of the Hokage. Anyway.
I prefer Queen of the Hokage, please.
Okay, Queen, yeah.
That works. Alright. Queen of the Hokage. Got it. So you're Tsunade mixed... Yeah. You're Tsunade. There we go. Alright. So, oh yeah. So speaking of the game that we are all addicted to, all right. So Tori isn't playing yet because sadly her phone may not be up to snuff. Though that is a commentary in and of itself. But yeah, Pokemon Go, yay! So for those who don't know, I like Pokemon. I watched the Pokemon anime as a kid. I read the manga. However, I never owned a handheld console, so I was never able to play it on Game Boy. And I never owned any consoles themselves, but an 8-bit Nintendo and a Wii U, so I don't own any of the Pokemon games. I'm thinking of getting Pokken Tournament, maybe. But so this is the first Pokemon game I've ever actually been able to play, other than I think the board game. I think I played the board game once. So yep, there was a Pokemon board game. Some anime cons still have it in their library.
Really?
Now and then someone will bust it out now and then, and you can play it. Mewtwo's in there. It's G1. Its nickname is Hunt Them All to Extinction, because that's basically what you do is you go in, you take the Pokemon, and no one else can get the Pokemon, so you have taken the last of their kind in each
Wait,
stop.
so is it like Monopoly with Pokemon?
A little bit. I played it in 1999, so it's been a while. I haven't played it since. Last time I saw it played publicly was Kamikaze Con back in like 2011, I think.
Ooh.
Was the last time I saw a copy of it. So
it's basically horror survival with Pokemon.
oh, that'd be interesting. I don't think so, but maybe.
You know,
but yeah, I think each that'd be fun. But yeah, every time you catch a Pokemon, there's only one of each Pokemon on the board. So once you catch it, that's it. You have the only Rattata. You have the only Raticate. You have the only Clefairy. There's only one. And you get your starters, I think, maybe. But yeah, that's the only other Pokemon game I played. So, but I went Team Valor because Red. Everyone knows anime knows that Red is the leader. And, when I get a Beedrill, I'm going to name him Pierce the Heavens. My Beedrill will pierce the heavens! Because, yeah. So, to me, Team Valor is the Gurren Lagann. We are the leaders of this. We're the Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy. We're sort of kind of the Naruto, but not in the stupid sense. We're the ones going forward with all of our burning soul and hot blood and charging forward. Now, normally, as people know me, I would normally be a mystic. I would normally be the blue ones.
The blue thinking, intellectual type or whatever.
That would what I'd be normally. However, 1, red is my favorite color, and 2, it's been a while since I've let my inner hot blood out. So I'm basically going, instead of just like thoughtful, careful professor, this is me going burning finger professor. It's like, I'm gonna charge forward recklessly and claim all the Pokemon. Yeah, I'm strapping on my goggles. So my starter was a Charmander, and I named him Agumon because why not?
Well, to side to the professor's argument, I'm the yellow team. And I picked them because, honestly, I like Pikachu, and I wanted to be the same color as Pikachu. Still haven't freaking captured a Pikachu yet. Still want my dang Pikachu. Trust me, I'll be posting on Facebook when I capture a Pikachu, much to the derision of most of the people that follow my Facebook page. Because, unlike you guys, I'm in my 40s, and so when Pokemon came out, I was already I was in college when it came out in Japan, and when it came out in America, I was already on my second job at that point. It had been 2 years since I've been in the workforce at that point, 3 years.
Wow.
I had traveled to Japan and brought back a bunch of Pokemon stuff, because we kind of knew in nerd circles that Pokemon was going to be something big, but we didn't know what it was. And when I got to Japan, it was huge. So I brought back a Pikachu with a little Pokeball, and no one knew what that was. And I was like, oh my god, it's amazing. And I have a picture of it in a tree and stuff in Japan.
Oh my god, a time when people didn't know what Pikachu was?
Yes!
Yeah, no.
Yes!
Yeah, I remember when the anime first came out, it was on UPN. It was a minor show. I would go to the local, it was one of those old record shops that's not around anymore. But they would have Japanese import figures. There weren't toys when it first came out. Like, it took a while for America to get Pokemon toys. So I own the one of the original James figures is from Japan because I bought him there because the American release there wasn't a James figure when I wanted to get one. So I have one of the Japanese ones.
I love James.
Yeah. Woohoo! Who's that Pokemon? It's Pikachu. Yeah, I do a James voice. Anyway.
But no,
I'll be using that more.
Yeah. So I mean, it was So like I said, for me, Pokemon was this thing. Love Pikachu. I've been a Pikachu fan since '97. Since '97, '98.
Wow.
My ex-wife, she was a huge Pokemon fan. In fact, we got Pokemon Red and Blue when we had our commitment ceremony in DC. We got our friends gave us Red and Blue Pokemon for our Game Boy Colors that we asked for. And so I went on my honeymoon, and all I did was play Pokemon Blue the entire honeymoon. My ex-wife to this day hates Pokemon, but then she played it and fell in love with it too. So I mean, so Pokemon has always been like this game for me that has always been there. And I watched the cartoon a little bit when I was, as an adult, not a kid. For me, cartoons in my day were like Voltron, which you guys probably don't even know, or Robotech, which no one seems to know anymore.
Well, Voltron just came back with the new anime, didn't they?
Yeah, it's good. It's entertaining. It's just, it's like...
It's not the one that you know.
Well, Voltron didn't age well for me. It's one of those...
Oh, God, no.
It's kind of like Dukes of Hazzard when I was a kid. Living in Kentucky, my dad was stationed at Kentucky at the time, and when we watched Dukes of Hazzard, living deep in the South, it was like, I knew people that were like that. We had cars like that, Confederate flags were everywhere. I love the show. It gave me that great Southern identity that's part of our lives, part of my life. But then I watched it in college, and I was like, "Oh my God, this show is so terrible."
Yeah, you're talking about the original Voltron dub?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh God, yeah, no, it was badly edited. I mean, you don't notice it when you're a kid, but like I would go back and watch some of the old videos. Like I noticed this when I was in college. I rented some VHS tapes of it. And popped in. I was like, "Oh my God, what in the world? How did I enjoy this?" Like, nothing they're saying matches stuff on the screen. That's how bad it is. I mean, the hero dub part is usually okay. It's like the villains. The villains made no sense. Like most of the stuff they said made no sense. Like their plots, they would start with one plot at the beginning, and they would end up with a completely different plot at the end. And it was weird what they did to that series.
So, I mean, it was just... And so, I mean, the new Voltron, I enjoyed it. I watched an episode of it. Actually, I watched 2 episodes of it, but it's just... it doesn't have the same memories, and I didn't like one of the characters. They changed the main commander character. He was like this regal guy and stuff, and now they just made him like this British comedy thing, and I'm just not liking that. That's annoying, I guess. But, anyways, digressing back. Let's get back to Pokemon Go, because this freaking game has taken over America. I mean, everyone's playing it.
If anyone can see my Facebook wall, I am pretty unabashedly posting about Pokemon Go a lot. Mostly because I find it more enjoyable to post about politics. Like I'm a political type, so which makes me feel bad, but I like it because it's my drug. Well, Pokemon Go is a happier drug, so I'm switching to that for now.
So, as I was saying about Pokemon Go, it's just... I've been posting like a maniac on Facebook about it, too. I do, by the way, Professor, I love your post tonight where you caught one over your salad as you were trying to get food.
Yes, I caught a Pidgey. I actually had a better shot, too. I was going to get eggs, and a Pidgey appeared right in front of the eggs. So I was going to take the photo, and then I dropped my phone, and when I picked it up, the Pidgey had actually moved, so it was in front of the milk instead. I'm like, darn it. It's like the Pidgey is defending its eggs, but I'm going to catch it anyway. And I'm going to eat its young.
Just trying to rescue it from the incubator. It's like, that's not the incubator. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, those aren't going to hatch. They've been in the freezer.
Yeah. Yeah, but I like to think it was trying to stop me from eating Pidgey eggs, but I ate them anyway. Ha ha ha! Foolish Pidgey.
Alright, but one of the big problems I'm having with Pokemon Go is the server issues. Oh my god!
Oh.
Do you know how many times I get kicked out of the damn thing?
Yeah. It's getting better. Yeah. For me, the dead times, like mornings I can play, evenings I can play. Usually, like come lunchtime, nothing. Like when I'm at work, I can pop on for like maybe 5 minutes in the morning, but come noon, nothing. And that's my lunchtime. So it's like that's the time I could go out and hit my Pokestops in the gym near where I work, and that's usually when the server's just nope. And then usually like right after I get off work, when I could like again walk over to the gym and Pokestops, it's still down. I noticed today it was better. I got off of work, the servers were up for once, so that was good. And during lunch, a couple days back, I was actually able to get on for like towards the end of my lunch, like for 15 minutes, I was able to get on, and actually someone had dropped a lure on one of the Pokestops near where I work, so I was able to use a lure for a little bit there before the servers went back down. So they're getting better, but yeah, it's so frustrating because it's like, oh, I'm in a new area, I want to log in and catch Pokemon here. Oh, the servers are down. Well, crap.
Wow. Don't get your hopes with the lure. The lure only brings common Pokemon in the area because people were. I work right next to a Pokestop, so like I can get the Pokestop from my cube, from my office.
Nice.
I don't want. But you cannot. Where I work, everyone's playing the darn game, so you can't get into the server most of the day. I'm wondering how much productivity is getting done in my company right now. Because I mean, the gym out front, there's a gym also next to me, and that gym is like constantly under attack.
Yeah, I was actually near one of the Dell gyms, and while I was grocery shopping, it went from blue to yellow, back to blue, and then red, and then blue before I left. It was weird. Like I think the people who work at Dell are all like different teams.
That just reminds me of the scene in Sleeping Beauty where they can't decide whether to make the dress pink or blue. So they're just like, it's blue! It should be pink! And it's just like, bling, bling! It's blue!
Well, ours is solidly yellow. Ours has been solidly yellow. I took the gym right next to my workplace last night. I captured it, and then it was quickly fortified by a bunch of yellow guys. So we upped that score, and so this morning I got into work, and it was like a score 5, and they have not been able to take that gym down since. But here's the weird thing: is that this evening I got a Pokemon upgrade, and all of a sudden, like the Pokestops around my office like quadrupled. And we now have 3 gyms where I work.
Oh, wow. Okay. I haven't gotten I don't think the updates... Do you use Android or iOS?
I use iOS.
Okay, yeah. The 1.1 dropped. It also fixes the permission issue that they had. Because there was a screw-up initially. Like, they got more permission than they needed. So they fixed that now. So now it only has access to your ID, so it can... keep you as a distinct account as opposed to we control everything in your Google now. Yeah, they got rid of that, thankfully.
Yeah, it was bad. But I mean, so it's like there's a lot more in my area, so it's gonna be interesting because it's almost like red has 1 gym, blue has 1 gym, and yellow has 1 gym. So we have like each of the teams has a gym by my company. I'm waiting for like where the yellow guys or the red guys or the blue guys go on Epic Quest to take all the gyms and hold them.
Yes, and everything changed when the Valor Nation attacked. Yes, yes. We're the Fire Nation.
We are
Charmander.
We are definitely the Airbenders.
Oh, okay. So we get to wipe you out to extinction.
You're gonna get wiped out. You know that means
yes,
get wiped out.
Yes. Well,
for 100 years.
Team Instinct, we're like the bad boys of this game. I mean, everyone makes fun of us. We're kind of like We're kind of like who picks yellow, but
yeah. Well. Yellow is the Hufflepuff. Like Gryffindor is Valor, Ravenclaw is Mystic, and Hufflepuff is Instinct.
But
yeah.
But because of these service issues, I've been playing a lot late at night, and so this Saturday I did something interesting. Professor and I, after playing A's Brass, shameless plug number 301, decided to go for a Pokemon walk. And so what we did was we fired up our Pokemon Go's. Me as a yellow person, him as a red. We put our differences aside for that night, and we walked for like frigging ever. And it was really cool because it's really, if you're gonna do Pokemon Go, you gotta do this. You gotta go get a friend, and you gotta go on a walk with It's all I gotta say. It was because, I mean, Professor, it was so much better walking with you because, like, when I got a Pokemon, you got the Pokemon. When you got the Pokemon, I got the Pokemon. So, like,
yeah, I did ask. I ran into a couple other people, and I did ask them about that. It turns out that's true. If one person in a group gets a Pokemon, everyone around them will tend to get that same Pokemon.
I mean,
all right. Sharing is caring.
The funniest was he turned off his phone, and all of a sudden a Magikarp appeared, and he's like, "I gotta turn on my phone because it goes with Team Rocket."
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to get the Team Rocket set. So I've got a Coughing and an Ekans. Now I have a Magikarp from James. I still need to get the plant one that James had, the Victory Blossom or Victory Bell. But the big one I'm missing is Meowth. I need Meowth. If I get a Meowth, I've got the basic starter. Then I think Jessie also had a Lickitung at some point.
Yeah, she had a Lickitung.
Yeah, and then down the road, whenever they get around to Wobbuffet, that'll be another one I want when they expand the Pokemon selection. So I need to get a Wobbuffet. But no, Team Rocket was my favorite thing in the anime. They were the reason I watched the Pokemon cartoon because they were hilarious. They had one of the best songs. Jessie was the hottest girl, and of course, James was just hilarious. I love the James voice.
Had the biggest tits.
Yes, he did.
Indeed, yes. Yes, everyone remembers screenshots of that episode. Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, technically, in that episode, Ash's mom won. So, technically, Ash's mom...
Oh, dude!
Ash's mom has bigger boobs than James.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she's a MILF. But,
well, okay, yeah. But she also appeared in a bikini in that episode, too. Yeah, she actually won the bikini contest. That was,
oh my god.
That's one of the reasons why everyone kind of, like, the early jokes were, like, Ash's mom is, she sleeps around a lot. She has a lot of boyfriends.
Ash's mom has got it going on.
Basically, yeah. But that was one of the starts of that joke, was because a lot of guys were like, oh my god, Ash's mom is so hot in that episode.
So anyways, what made it fun also is while we were walking, we found a random gym just out in the middle of on our path. And you remember, that was the first time I tried to take down a gym.
Mm-hmm.
Failed miserably because there's a glitch in the game, evidently. You can get a Pokemon, you can get one of the head Pokemon down to 1, and it won't die. And then the game, then you'll lose or it'll time out. So
good news, the newest update, they fixed that.
Oh, they did? Thank God.
Yep. So that's gone now, or at least should be. We can test it out next time we go around.
But I mean, what was entertaining was hilarious. So we're walking around in this park in the middle of the night, pitch black, and like we turned the corner on this. We're doing the tour of the Pokestops in this park. We had 3 Pokestops, and I'm like, we hit up the first one, then we hit the second one, then we hit the third one. On our way back, I'm like, I actually had 4 Pokestops in this park. It was an amazing park, and it had like a Jigglypuff in there and a Voltron. Oh my gosh, it was like it was like a hunting ground of hunting grounds.
Yeah. By the way, it turns out Voltorb is actually a pretty rare Pokemon that we got. So that Voltorb we got is pretty unusual. So I feel good. He's like, I think that's the rarest Pokemon I've got right now is the Voltorb that we captured.
Can you get Togepi yet?
No.
Damn.
Yeah, he's Togepi's Generation 2.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's all Generation 1. Yeah, I know. I wanted Togepi too. I mean, come on, it's cute.
He's adorable.
So cute. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. I love him.
But Psyduck is there too.
Oh yeah, there was a Psyduck in that park and we didn't get it. We kept trying to find it.
Yeah.
Damn, I love Psyduck.
But anyway,
yeah,
he's such an attention whore. Relatable.
It was hilarious. So we're walking in the park. Someone shouts out, "Are you guys playing Pokemon Go?" We're like, "Yeah, hell yeah!" And then as we're walking in the park, we run into 2 guys, and we're like, oh gosh, this could go bad. And it turned out they were playing Pokemon Go. At 3 in the friggin' morning, people are playing Pokemon Go in Austin. In, like, the darkest, most dangerous places in town. And not caring.
Yeah. And by the way, to put that in perspective, so, people who know Austin, Runberg is considered pretty much the worst part of town.
We were
yeah. Ninja, Pyra, and I were just north of Runberg. Like, we were in the part of Rutland, Quail Cross Park, which is just north of Runberg. So we were basically right in the heart of the ghetto of Austin. And we were completely safe, and everyone was just playing Pokemon Go, and it was great.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And so then on the way back, we ran out of power on our things, and then we had this quest to find water because every freaking gas station was closed at that point.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So annoying.
So annoying.
Oh, and then we had random drunk Dominican dude. Oh, no, Honduran. Not Dominican. Honduran, yeah.
He was on his skateboard. He was trying to run us down with a skateboard or something. He just fallen. He was drunk. And then he wandered off on his skateboard and realized we didn't speak Spanish.
Yeah. But my line was like, look, a real-life Pokemon. He's following us around. Maybe we should ask him to repeat his name over and over.
So after that, so then I left John and went home. On my way home, in my neighborhood, the Baptist church down the street, which is very, kind of like not very friendly towards people in a little bit, they have a gym in front of it. So at like 4 a.m, I drive up to their gym, take it down, and put up one of my Pokemon that says "Love Wins."
Oh,
so that when they walk into church in the morning, they're gonna see this Pokemon that says "Love Wins." I was like going, I don't think I'm gonna go to hell because I really should have named it. I should have really named my Pokemon "Butt Sex is Great." But I figured that these parents asking these kids walking up to their parents going, "Mommy, Daddy, what's butt sex?" So yeah. I've been naming my Pokemon after LGBT stuff.
Yeah, the same thing happened to the Westboro Baptist Church. They got claimed by a Clefairy named Love is Love. And
yeah.
And I caught a Clefairy, actually, thinking of Clefairies, I caught the Clefairy while I was out of that Baptist church too. So it's
really?
Yeah,
okay.
but my Clefairy is so low level that it's not
okay, so Clefairies are near churches. Okay.
No. Okay, so, John, no, it's down a little further south. So 2222, the stretch of 2222, is, loaded with rare Pokemon.
Which stretch of 2222?
The one over by where I live, in between 620 and 360, that stretch.
Oh, that one. Oh, with the mountain?
Yeah. There's a
wow.
growler on the at the bottom of the mountain. I've gotten him jumped into my car twice on that.
All right.
Clefairy down at the bottom, down towards Indeed. And I've got the Clefairy jumped out on me twice. And every time I drive that road, because I turn my Pokemon, because when you're caught in rush hour traffic, I'm trying to get those extra egg miles. So egg miles for you people are you get these eggs and you have to walk, and that's why we went to the Pokemon walk really was to get our eggs hatching. We saw 2 eggs hatch while we were walking. 2 of my eggs hatched.
Yep. I finally had my egg hatch, Ponyta. I got a Ponyta.
Oh, you lucky man! I got that stupid fossil thing.
Oh no! Oh well, actually, that fossil thing is rarer than mine. That's a very rare one. I don't believe you can catch the one in the wild, or at least it's very hard to find it in the wild.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a real rare one. I've got a 5K egg and a 2K egg right now incubating. So we'll see what I get from those.
I've got 2 5K eggs incubating right now, and my last 2K, which hatched while we were on the walk, it was a Weedle. Yeah, but I mean, I needed those Weedle candies, man. It gave me enough Weedle candy that I got to move my Weedle up through the charts, and now I have a Beetle from that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to get my Gurren Lagann Beedrill here, so I'm probably going to be leveling those up.
But God, I think we could talk for hours about Pokemon Go, but we want to continue boring. Well, because Tori, I mean, you've got to play this stuff. That's all I got to say.
Yes. Upgrade your phone. I don't think it has to be the latest and greatest. For example, my Note 4 can handle it, and I think now a Note 4 or a G5, or S5 is free.
Yeah, I am definitely due for an upgrade. I've had this phone for 3-4 years, I think.
Yeah, so you could definitely upgrade it. An S5 can handle it, and I don't think an S5 would cost you anything. Or you can go all out and get an S7 and like just like
yeah,
blow
when
me out
that
of the
because
water.
I'm like that's what I'm wondering. It's like maybe I should just wait until the super new one comes out. And it's not like the thing where it's like, oh, every time the new phone comes out, I get it. Because that's definitely not what I do. It's like, I'm due for an upgrade. I might as well get the latest and greatest since I haven't gotten a new phone in like 4 years.
Yeah, just whatever you do.
And it'll save my game, as long as it saves my game on the 4 that I have. So it'll be like, okay, I can only use this, I can use this phone still when I want to play like my Avengers Academy game.
Yeah.
And then use my other phone for like, other stuff.
Yeah, and the Pokemon info is pegged to your Gmail. So if you say start on this phone, but get a new phone, you just log in with that same Gmail, and all your info will be there. It's nothing saved to the phone on that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Your Adventures Academy too might be stored in the server, not on your phone.
That's what I'm wondering because, like, because I'm like, is it saved to my Apple ID or? Because I'm not sure.
Should be. Most games.
I really don't want to
usually
get a new
pegged to your
phone
ID.
and be like, no, I lost the Bucky.
Yeah. Oh, the
Okay.
only problem there is if you're using an Apple ID, you won't be able to use an Apple ID if you switch to Android, which is superior. Anyway, but don't whatever you do, don't get the S6 or the Note 5 because they went the iPhone route with no interchangeable battery, which was terrible. So they fixed that. So the S7 and the Note 6, they were like, oh, look, we brought back interchangeable battery and expandable memory because iPhone sucks. Why were we trying to be like the iPhone? All right.
Yeah, but one other thing I want to say: if you do go for a Pokemon walk, bring extra phone chargers with you. Bring those extra
All right, I do have a battery pack, but I guess I'll need to get more battery packs.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm probably going to get 2. I mean, Note 4 has good battery life. I can play for about 2 to 3 hours before my battery drains out. That's exceptional. A lot of phones die after 30 minutes. So
that's what I was thinking.
So, and I'll put it this way: like Ingress did not drain my phone quite as bad as Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go, I think, is actually a little worse than Ingress, which is surprising to me. Because Ingress would knock a percentage point off every couple minutes. This one is, this one I think is a little quicker than that. But I'm definitely looking at a couple battery packs so I can really start exploring. Let's see. So we have talked. Wow. Okay. So we've talked for a bit. Let's see. All right, comic book news time. Something that all three of us could geek out about. Iron Man. What? Oh, it's not Tony Stark anymore. It's going to be an African American teenage girl now.
Hey, she's a scientist. She's a scientist.
She
with
is a
glasses.
scientist. I like that. Female scientists are cool. We need more of those in fiction.
Yes, they're awesome.
I
like female scientists as both the good guys, and I love evil female scientists.
Those are good too. Like,
so
I mean, I have nothing wrong with Holtzman in the new Ghostbusters. I think I want to, Holtzman in the new Ghostbusters is angling for best waifu here, based on her appearance in the trailer. So I am going to go see the new Ghostbusters for Holtzman, basically.
And luckily it said that the reviews said that it was pretty good.
Yeah, the reviews for it are also looking good, but we'll see how much of that is paid for. Because some of the people are pointing out that some of the reviews are being written to just be contrarian, to be like, ha ha ha, everyone who thought this would be terrible, you're stupid. So you can't trust those. Some of them, of course, are paid for. So we'll see. Hopefully it's decent.
You know my opinion on Ghostbusters. They made a great Ghostbuster movie in 1986. That archetype has now been prevalent in the movie industry. If it's good, if Ghostbusters is good, it's going to be like Men in Black or anything else. Awesome. If it's bad, it's going to be another R.I.P.D. And we all know how bad that one. Or Evolution. Oh, God. I paid money to see both of those in the theater, by the way. And I was
I feel sorry for you.
I love Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is like.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have like such a crush on him sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would go straight for Ryan Reynolds. Just saying.
Yeah. But I mean, R.I.P.D. had potential because it was a good team up with those two. I mean, I love the interplay of like Ryan Reynolds is the old Asian guy. I forgot the name of the actor, but that was a great choice.
Oh, James Hong.
Yeah, James Hong.
I love him. He's the one. He plays like every old Chinese dad in everything. He's the Chinese dad in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He is the Chinese dad in Kung Fu Panda.
Yep. Yeah, and he's a great actor. I like him a lot.
He's a good actor. I love him.
Yeah. But it had some great potential, and it didn't live up. It didn't supply the necessary level of quirk. And I don't know. I think part of it was they really failed to get the character of the old man, Lloyd Bridges' character. They really did not nail him down. Jeff Bridges. Sorry, Lloyd Bridges' dad. Duh. They really didn't nail Jeff Bridges' character well enough on that one. Yeah, but no, I remember R.I.P.D. Yeah, that was disappointing.
What I'm trying to say is, so Ghostbusters can be either great, because that storyline when it works, or it's just going to be just derivative and boring.
Yeah.
So the movie I'm looking forward to, because again, it's an even-numbered movie in the series of Star Trek, is Star Trek Beyond, and we all know how the curse works. Why are you crying so much?
What do you mean, why am I crying so much? I'm still mourning Anton Yelchin.
Oh, yeah, we lost our Chekhov.
Yeah, and that to me was like, that was a freak accident. It was almost like his car killed it.
Yeah.
Exactly! I'm like, that's what's so upsetting, but at the same time, at least it wasn't... Oh, because he died at 27. I'm like, no! He shouldn't be a part of the 27 Club. The 27 Club is for drug addicts.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame.
It's a shame.
But yeah, I do want to see that movie. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, Anton Yelchin was a better Chekhov than Simon Pegg is Scotty, in my opinion. Like, he was a good Chekhov. Pegg is okay as Scotty, but it's not as good as he could be.
Well, I'm tired of Pegg. I liked Simon Pegg initially when he appeared on the scene. His movies were really funny. That he did, Shaun of the Dead and The World Is Ending Tomorrow and Hot Fuzz. He was really good. But then he turned into this, like, complete and total... Are we allowed to cuss on this show?
Yes.
He was a complete and total asshat. He's in what we call in Holland. We would call him a Klotzacher. Big time Klotzacher, which means asshole to the nth degree.
Wow.
And he's just turned into this complete ass. And he's just like, he's not respecting anything. And when someone tells him, don't do that, he's like, fuck you. I'm the Uber geek. I can do whatever the fuck I please. Like this whole Sulu thing. I mean, I'm
Sulu, not pleased.
Well, no, I was happy when they announced Sulu was gay, and they were not going to make a big deal out of it. He was gay. He has a father. He's a father, and he has a male lover, and it's his husband, and nothing more said. Everyone accepts it's awesome. That gives great hope for me as an LGBT person because that's what we need. Mm-hmm. But then I saw George Takei's comments about how he was disappointed about this. And I'm like, come on. Did you not talk to Takei if you'd be okay with this?
Yeah.
And then Simon... What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Takei expressly said that when in his talks with Ron Berry did not want to make Sulu gay. That is one reason why Sulu has a daughter, and, his daughter... Well, Sulu was not gay in the original series, so this is a change in canon just for the sake of changing the canon. It's similar to making Johnny Storm African American. Why? Because we can. Why not?
Well, I was more okay with Johnny Storm being African American. I did.
Yeah. Me neither.
I wanted a good actor to play Johnny Storm. I don't care because you can explain it all away. It doesn't really matter or affect the story. But going against the Star Trek has a very nuanced canon to it, and obviously this new Star Trek movie series has way moved past the canon, and it's its own little universe of action movies. Because I mean, come on, Khan was not
Bendy Boob.
It was not for
Climber Snitch.
Yeah.
It was just Khan was not. Khan was just completely wrong. Star Trek 2 was just a terrible movie. I'm just going to put that out here as my baseline. I do a lot of baselining. I thought Star Trek, the second Star Trek movie, was terrible. But then again, it follows the premises of the odd-even phenomenon. Odd movies suck, even movies are good. So I'm looking forward to Star Trek Beyond. That's the big one I'm looking forward to. But you're right, I'm going to cry when Chekhov comes on, because...
When he comes on, I'm just going to be... I'm so pissed. Especially... I love that actor because I saw him in Charlie Bartlett, And he was really great in that. He was a phenomenal actor. But it is nice to see that everyone has had good things to say about him. It's not like, oh, shocking, bring out this dark thing that he did whatever years ago. Everyone's just like, oh no, he was such a wonderful person. Everyone loved him.
So, I'll cry a tear. But getting back to Iron Man being replaced by an African-American team. Why this? When I saw this on the news, first of all, I don't read Iron Man. I've never been an Iron Man fan, really.
Me neither.
I thought the Iron Man movies were cool. And
same here. I like them, but I don't like Tony Stark as a person. I was like, you are kind of going off the deep end, and I don't trust you.
He got really douchier and douchier as the series went on. Because, the old Iron Man, I still deem in the bottle where he gets redemption and stuff. But he's always been kind of the douche of the Marvel Universe for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, changing it to a female, awesome. African-American, awesome. Let's play with it. Let's see where this is going. But I love that they made her a scientist. Because not for me, but for my daughter. My daughter is 14 years old. I have a 14-year-old daughter.
Ah.
She lives in England. She's my ex-wife's child. She's not my child. She's my ex-wife. My ex-wife is the birth mom. And we'll not get into who the father is. But I've raised her from birth. And so, she right now wants to be an astrophysicist. I'm not kidding. She has wanted to be an astrophysicist since she was about 7 years old.
Aww,
and she's
awesome.
actually epically going in that direction. I mean, she's actively, she gets straight A's in all the math and science classes, and she's accelerated in all her stuff, and is doing all science stuff. And she goes to space. She actually literally goes to the British version of space camp every year. She's going.
That's awesome.
That's great. So making her a scientist teenage girl, it's something that my daughter I can bond with my daughter and go, hey, read this. Here's a hero for you, Jasmine, because she knows who Iron Man is. She watched the movie and she's seen the cartoons, so it's something that to get her in a hook on the comics and give her a positive role model. So that's why I'm all for it. But again, I don't know if it's going to be a great change, and I know people are going to douche all over it because it's comic book them. Before gaming came out, before Gaming Gate, and all the gamers were douches, the comic book industry was the same way.
Yeah. And also, the worst thing they can do is bring this amazing character that everyone loves, and then just toss her aside. Because she was a gimmick. Of course we're going to bring Tony back.
Yeah, that's
what I would not... That's the worst thing they can do.
Most of the criticism for this is it's been done before. Basically, bringing in, here's an all-new version of this existing character. So in the 90s, you probably remember this, is in the 90s, they had female versions of all. There was Lady Punisher, Lady Venom, Lady this, Lady that. It's like, everybody gets a female counterpart. Woo! Female Dr. Octopus. That was the thing in the Spider-Man comics. So
where are these? And give them to me.
Oh, but everyone got a female counterpart in the 90s. And then basically after the gimmick was done, they all got tossed to one side because it was like, that was kind of stupid because it didn't work. I mean, it's just just making a character female doesn't do anything. It's not, alone does not give you a good story.
You have to explore it.
Yeah. In this case, it's Bendis. Bendis has his ups and downs.
He definitely has his ups and downs. Because, on one hand, he created Jessica Jones, and I love Jessica Jones. Yeah. But he also created House of M.
Yeah.
House of M, no. House of M was great. I like how it made mutants important again.
It got rid of the mutants.
Well, yeah, because there were too many freaking mutants. The whole point of
Everyone's
mutants is they're rare.
Yeah. I dislike House of M mainly because the writing seemed a bit off on it. When his writing is off, it's off. Like Secret Invasion was not well paced. If you contrast Secret Invasion with Infinity with Hickman was amazing. That was space opera of a very high caliber. I loved Infinity so much. Unfortunately, Hickman didn't do so great with Secret Wars. Secret Wars came down to just another Doom versus Mr. Fantastic scene, and I was like, oh, come on, you could do better. You could have done better than this, Hickman. I mean, you gave us Thanos versus Thor, Hulk, Captain America showdown. I mean, you gave us a two-front war and balanced it amazingly. And Secret Wars just comes down to Doom versus Mr. Fantastic. Come on, Hickman. Anyway, this is Bendis. He gave us Miles Morales, who is a viable alternate Spider-Man. He's his own character. He coexists now with Peter Parker, and he's his own guy. And I like that. That's cool. That's fine. So maybe this character will play out well, but I think for a lot of comic book fans, this is bringing back bad memories of the 90s when everybody was being female or some change or something, and it was very gimmicky, and it was all just discarded. So it's like, if you're going to have an African-American super science girl, do it like Osmodeus Cho. Cho is like the 8th smartest person in the Marvel Universe.
Or is it
Amadeus, sorry. Yeah, Osmodeus. Anyway, Amadeus Cho, who I like. Amadeus Cho's a fun character. He's his own character. He's an Asian American, super genius, very smart, has his own character. And when he eventually evolved into the Hulk, it made sense because he was part of the Hulk canon. There's always been multiple Hulks. There's always been multiple people exposed. Cho has been part of the Hulk canon. It makes sense for the companion of the Hulk to become a Hulk. That was fine. That was a good evolution. In this case, I don't know. I mean, is this going to be Bendis good Bendis, or is this going to be very awful Bendis?
Because honestly, when it came to House of M, I don't like... Okay, I thought it was interesting what he did with Wanda, but the whole thing where... Okay, I understand, like, they saw how dangerous she was. I understand she's dangerous, but everyone was so unsympathetic. It's like, I don't know. All I did was tell her that her children weren't real, and she freaked out on me. What's up with that?
I'm gonna just say I like how Sam because it made the mutants again important to me. Because I had lost interest in the mutants at that point because there were just too many friggin' mutants. And it was starting to lose that speciality. But then again, I'm not a big mutant X-Men type fanatic. I'm more... Me
neither. So that's why, because if I were big into X-Men, then I probably would have been heartbroken, but I wasn't. So I'm like, oh, okay, so a lot of mutants are gone. But I wasn't like, no, my favorites!
X-Men have never spoken to me as a series, unfortunately.
And by that point, I was pretty much reading exclusively DC and Image comics. I moved away.
Oh, Image is amazing.
I mean, okay, I've got to confess. I was a Marvel zombie when I was like 16, 17 years old. Obsessed with it. I read Captain America religiously. At one point, I worked a job where I got basically afforded, like, I got $400, and I bought a subscription to every Marvel comics that was published that year. I had, like, literally a subscription to everything. So every week I was getting, like, a comic book. Like, getting a dozen comic books. And this was coming across through Europe. Because I was living in Holland at the time. Mm-hmm. And for those that don't know, I come from a military family, and I grew up overseas for most of my childhood.
Oh, okay.
I lived in Germany and Holland. I graduated from high school in Holland, actually. So anyway, so for me to get comic books in Europe was amazing because they were really friggin' expensive to buy them in Europe. Like $1.50. Which back then was a lot of money for a comic book, but now I would kill to get paid $1.50 for a comic book. So it was where was I going with the story? But then I started getting into the DC comics and more see what the Image after Image got through all its flashy blowing in the 90s.
After Spawn and more Spawn.
Yeah, and like all the crap that like Shadowhawk and
Youngblood's disease going all over.
Yeah. I mean, and I really fell in love with the Valiant universe, too, at that time. I mean, the Valiant universe was really well written. I really loved it. And, like, and so I just switched to DC, and I pretty much have not read much in Marvel since then. And I gotta say, I'm pretty much a DC girl at this point. So, I mean, like I said,
yeah.
Well, yes, Tori?
I was just going to say, I'm kind of a bit of both now, because when I was younger, I was way, way into the DC TV shows and the movies, and I didn't even look at Marvel at all. But then the MCU started, and okay, even when the first Avengers movie came out, I wasn't super into it. It was maybe about the time Iron Man 3 came out that I actually started watching the Iron Man movies, and I said, like, oh, these are cool, and I gradually started getting to the MCU, and then Marvel Comics. And I still go back and I pick up some DC comics. Like, I like some of the Harley Quinn comics. and I'm just, okay, at this point, I think Rebirth is going to be it, because I'm trying to go back and the whole big event is going on. I'm like, okay, let me know when you're doing something steady.
Well, okay, so with DC Comics, I stopped at 52. When 52 came out, I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
25 years, 30 years of comic book reading. You know, most of my childhood and most of my adulthood were just thrown into the toilet and forgotten. Stories that I was really invested in, characters I was really invested into, and I was done. A lot of those old timers were like, we're done. So it really killed comic bookdom for me. And Rebirth, honestly, until Rebirth came out, I really haven't picked up that many new comics. I buy graphical novels now. And I've been going and buying all the Rebirth issues lately. And they're actually, for the most part, really good.
All right. Sounds good.
I mean, I have a problem.
When I get my first paycheck, it'd be like, all right, to the comic book store.
Well, Tori,
all right.
Tori, if we hook up, I can drop you a pile of them that I have.
I live in San Antonio.
That's only an hour away, darling. I commuted to San Antonio every day for 6 months. Oh, God,
Yeah.
I hated that commute.
Yeah, I can imagine. That is not my idea of fun. But yeah, for comic books, like, I was exposed to DC and Marvel at roughly the same time. So, like, I grew up with DC cartoons, but I tended to favor Marvel comics because my favorite was Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I identified as Peter Parker because it's nerdy kid who's bullied at school who gets superpowers. I mean, as Wizard Magazine summed it up best, if you got superpowers, you would be Spider-Man because pretty much every comic book reader is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I got really into Spidey. So Spidey was the comic I read, and I read some of the other Marvel ones too. Like, I read some Avengers. This unfortunately was a period when both Iron Man and Cap were not well written, so I didn't really read them all that much.
Oh my god, was it Ultimates? Because that's horrible.
No, I didn't get into the Ultimate Spider-Man at all.
Oh, no,
I just read...
No, I meant Ultimates like Avengers, and Ultimate Cap is the worst.
Oh God,
Okay.
yeah, I've heard.
No.
Yeah, and the Ultimate Universe in general was pretty trash, other than Spider-Man. I think Ultimate Spider-Man, they say, was okay.
No. Okay, so I'm gonna project here because that when the Ultimate Universe came out, I got into Marvel again, and I got into the Ultimate Universe partially because it was rehashing a lot of the stories that I knew like the back of my hand, and they did them really well. And Ultimate Spider-Man was, at least the Bendis run, friggin' amazing up to the first 100 issues. Ultimate X-Men initially was amazingly good. I mean, I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty good. And it was really well written, it was really well read, but then over time it just started falling apart. Then Ultimate Fantastic Four came out, it was really good at first, but then it fell apart. And then, like, Ultimates came out at the same time. I didn't get into the Ultimates book that much. Everyone thought it was wonderful. I was like, it's okay, it's a team book, not my thing, really. And then it just started going downhill from there. And then, like, they had all these, like, Ultimate crossover this, Ultimate crossover. They did, like, some other goofy stuff. So the early Ultimate Marvel Ultimate stuff is really fundamentally good, and you should read it. Everything else,
I've been told.
Forget it. Don't.
Yeah.
You know, I have the Ultimate Spider-Man collected in trade and graphic novel form. If you ever come over to my apartment, you can read it. Same with the Ultimate X-Men. I have that somewhere piled away, or I need to get my hands on some of the early stuff. But anything past that, not that good.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it based on what I heard. But I stopped reading Marvel after One More Day. Like, One More Day, it's like, nope, not reading Spidey anymore. No, One More Day killed Spidey for me. But I do watch the MCU. I wish DC would get its act together and start making good movies.
I hope Wonder Woman is good. But I'm probably still going to join it because I love who they chose for Wonder Woman. At first, I was skeptical of just like, well, let's see.
No,
and then she impressed me, so I'm like, all right, let's do this. Especially since it takes place in the World War I, so I'm like, period setting.
World War II.
Yeah.
World War II.
No, it's taking place in World War I.
Oh, wow. I thought it was World War II. Whoa.
Originally in the comics, yes, but movie, they're going with World War I.
Awesome.
Wow,
no,
nice.
the one as I said earlier, the one I'm looking forward to is Suicide Squad. I mean, like I said, I'm a fanatic of that earlier work. Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be good. It looks good.
I hope it's fun.
I hope
it looks
so.
fun. And it looks colorful at least. Other John, like John Lopez.
Black Apple
He
101.
shits all over it, and he's like, "Oh, this advertising is horrible." I'm like, I'm gonna give it a shot.
The advertising is pretty bad. I'm not sold on Jared Leto as Joker.
But I feel like he's not the draw of the movie. It's not like
No.
Dark Knight where it's like he's the big villain, and so he's half of the show. No, the Suicide Squad, like Harley is the big sell, and then even the other crew is also a big sell in it. Joker, I don't know. It feels like he's gonna be more than cameo, but not like the big villain in it. It's more like, hey, Joker's in it.
I wish they had left Will Smith out. I think he's distracting as Deadshot. He's not Deadshot. It's just no.
I wish they had made Will Smith the Bronze Tiger. I'm just gonna say this.
That would have made sense. That would have been okay.
Because his acting style is more in line with the way Bronze Tiger is written in the comic book. And I don't know who and I would have had Ryan Reynolds play Deadshot but just because, come on, dead, come on. But anyways.
No, they have to have Ryan Reynolds play Deathstroke.
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds has to play Deathstroke now.
Yes.
He has to.
He has to be Slade Wilson.
Yes, because then it's like, hey, I feel like I've done this before. What's this deja vu?
All right. So what I was trying to say was, wrapping up this Iron Man thing. The only thing I don't want to see Marvel do with this character is put her in a refrigerator.
Oh my god.
That actually, by the way, the last time they did a female Iron Man, that's exactly what happened to her. Like, they had a nerdy teen girl replicate the Iron Man armor, goes out for the first time, runs into Graviton, and gets squished like a bug. And she, like, in the same issue she comes out, she dies, just to basically motivate Tony to do something. So that actually has happened. They have fridged a teenage scientist girl who wanted to be Iron Man.
What I want to see when it comes to a female Iron Man, like, yes, I do want to see this new girl who takes the Iron Man title, but I want to see them explore that Natasha Stark, who was in one panel after Civil War, where I think Reed Richards is talking to the Watcher, and he's being shown alternate universes, and it's called Earth 3490, where Natasha Stark is basically Tony Stark as a woman, and she and Captain America basically cooled each other's attitudes, and so instead of the Civil War happening, they talked things out and they got married. And I was like...
You just love pairing Marvel characters with, like, female versions of other Marvel characters.
They did that before I touched it. I am no different from them. That's the thing. Every time I think I make something crazy, I find a time that Marvel did the same thing that I did, except maybe like 30 years ago. So I'm like, you are no better than I. Who are you to judge me?
All right.
Yes.
So
let's...
And by the way, John, by the way, the thing that ruined Spider-Man for me, you talked about 1 day later. Did you ever read the Clone Saga?
That's actually where I started.
Oh my god!
So understand that because I started with the Clone Saga, it as my reference point. Because of that, it really had nowhere to go but up. So that was like, I understand that was a low point because I read the back issues. I collected the back issues furiously. Like, I own every issue of Web of Spider-Man, and I own all the issues of Amazing going back like 316 or something like that. So I bought huge chunks of the back run of Amazing Spider-Man in floppy form, not in trade paperback. This was before the trade paperback craze.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so boxes and boxes. But I understand that the Clone Saga was not very good. However, I was young enough where I wasn't able really to discern that, so it was okay. And it all wrapped up neatly in the end, and then we moved on, and I was like, all right, cool. I felt bad that they killed his kid. I didn't like the fact that they killed his daughter. I think him having a daughter would have been nice.
Wait, the baby, or
May
like
Parker.
an actual daughter?
Yeah, he had Mary Jane was pregnant with May Parker. And in the finale for the Clone Saga, they killed it.
Yeah.
Norman Osborn via an agent, slips Mary Jane some poison that causes her to miscarry the baby.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I did read about that because, okay, I didn't read the Spider-Man comics, but when the Spider-Man, like the first movie came out in 2002, my cousin got a big Spider-Man encyclopedia, so whenever I would go into his house, I would look at new facts about that, and I saw that about the baby. She essentially had a stillborn baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
For me, the high point of the Spider-Man run when I was reading it was the Straczynski, when Straczynski wrote it.
That was an amazing one.
I like Straczynski's take. It ended horribly. It ended absolutely horribly, but he was forced to end it that way by editorial fiat, and he's gone on record saying that they forced this down my throat, and I hate it.
Like the Sins of Our Past one, or?
No, not Sins of... A lot of people give crap for Sins of the Past. I did not have too many problems with it, because to me it's like, now it makes sense. Why does Norman Osborn going after this? It makes sense now. And a lot of people said it trashed your characters. Like, I kind of thought that was kind of an interesting take to it. Straczynski went into Spider-Man, like his first comic, when he has oh god, I forgot his name, when he has the old man standing next to Spider-Man and ask him a question. It's like, so have you ever asked yourself, was it the radioactivity that gave you your powers, or was it the spider? Like, from the first issue he takes over, he turns the entire Spider-Man mythos on its head, and he does it brilliantly, and in such a simple and obvious way. And then he, like, points out, like, totemism, things like that, and he ties it into basically Doctor Strange and a whole lot of those aspects, as well as still honoring the science aspect of Spider-Man's origins. And I thought that was brilliant. It was a fresh, original take on a character who had not had any fresh, original takes for many decades. And the whole like him evolving into the spider, and through the other, I found that was interesting. The whole idea of like other spider powers, that makes sense. It gives Spider-Man a chance to evolve and a chance to develop and become a more powerful hero. So he could take his place amongst the pantheon of the gods, essentially. I thought that was clever. But yeah, I know a lot of people. It's controversial, and I understand that. But unfortunately, the end of his run is when I stopped reading Spider-Man. So I can't really comment on Dan Slott's material. I've been told it's good, but I don't read it.
But yeah, when it comes to Mayday Parker, they did, well, of course, they make her Spider-Girl in, like, MC2, and I found some of those comics at my half price, and I bought them. Like, I bought it. It's a little booklet. I haven't read a lot of it yet, but she seems pretty cool, and that seems fun, so I do like the Mayday character.
Well, what about you, Maggie? I feel that you might have an opinion about this.
Oh, no, because, like, I read the initial Straczynski one, and I did read that, because, like, someone said, you gotta read this, and I gotta say, you everything you said, yeah, it really did change Spider-Man, and it really gave a fresh perspective on the lore, and really changed the lore. I know everyone liked it, because, obviously, you're changing up the story, but it was just amazing, like, when the other Spider-Man-like character, the Totem character, showed up and showed him his powers and stuff, it was just really well done. But, yeah. Like, all good things, it came to a crashing crap heap of shit.
Yeah, and it's because of Quesada. When Quesada is fired from Marvel, finally, and then they can finally, like, retcon one more day out, which maybe they have. I mean, technically, I think Secret Wars may have gotten rid of one more day, because after Secret Wars the whole universe rebooted. So maybe technically that hasn't happened now, so maybe I can start buying Spider-Man again, maybe. And I said, Dan Slott has written good Spider-Man stuff. Like Superior Spider-Man was the one exception to me not reading it, because Superior Spider-Man was amazing, and just
I've read the beginning of that, and I love that.
Mad Scientist Spider-Man. It's like, yes, this is amazing. Yes, I love it.
I read the part where he's trying to get with Mary Jane, and she can feel something's different. So it's like, oh, you're not the same Peter. I'm not going to sleep with you. And he's like, curses.
Yeah, it was like Groundhog Day. It was like, nope. Oh man, nope. Denied. But I love that they gave him an original love interest, and the love interest made sense. And they rounded out. It was not only an amazing Spider-Man story, it was an amazing Doc Ock story. and it gave you another take on him, and it was good. I didn't like where he went with it over time, like where Doc Ock's villainous side reasserted itself, and things like that. I thought that was like, you're kind of forcing it so that we have to welcome Peter Parker back. I think he could have done it. I think he could have resolved it differently, but it was a really fresh take. Again, did a good job. That was the one exception I had to not reading Spider-Man. Because Doc Ock hadn't made a deal with the devil, so I'm okay with reading this character. Anyway, so we're approaching the end here, so I'm just going to give a shout-out. Anime Austin is this weekend. It's the 15th through the 17th here in Austin. I will be there. I will be hosting a panel, Birth of a Tabletop. Birth of an RPG. It's a tabletop workshop. I run it before at a convention. It's be 90 minutes long. I'll take teams. We will walk through and create a basic skeleton of an RPG. Maybe not playable, but by the end of it, each team will have the necessary ingredients and blueprint to actually make a game if they wanted to. And it could be as simple or as complicated as you want. So if you want to walk through and actually sit down and do some of the initial legwork and make a game, this is a great workshop. It's Saturday morning, 10 a.m., which is kind of a dead zone, but I'm hoping some people will show up. This is the Holiday Inn Midtown. So that's one thing I wanted to throw out there. Also on the 23rd, Ooples, we're going to have a Tanto Kore BYOB game. It's going to have the base game and Oktoberfest with beer. So now you have beer cards, and you'll have beer to drink. Possibly other imbibings as well, which should be fun. So, yeah, we'll save. We have a lot of other things here on the docket. We will save those for later, because that's great. So, let's jump to our last segment. Oh, did you guys have anything you wanted to plug at the last minute?
Play Pokemon Go. It's awesome. And come try Ace Brass if you get a chance. An amazingly fun time game. I'm happy.
Yes. Come play Ice Brass Revolution with myself and with Ninja Pirate, Queen of the Hokages. Alright. So let's go. We'll start our final segment of the night. It is called Will You Press the Button?
Alright.
So, because I'm the one reading it, I will actually be paying attention to it this time, as opposed to just tuning it out like background noise, because Black Knuckle 101's voice is just like so snooze-inducing, you know? Alright. So.
Like, that's the noise he's gonna make when he hears you say that.
Maybe. Hey, he was trash-talking us something fierce
I know.
at the beginning of that
Well, he's trash-talking me. They didn't trash-talk you that much.
They did. Oh, no. They put me, they bashed me, too. No, I got mine in there. Those unsophisticated clods. Anyway. Alright. So, will you press the button? You have the ability to rewind time for 10 seconds. But, each time you do it, you gain 1 pound.
No way, I can't afford that.
I would do it because, I'm assuming you can still lose the weight normally. So, I'd probably, use it now and then to, get myself out of really sticky situations. Or, if I say something really bone stupid, like a poorly timed Holocaust joke, I can rewind time and really not say that.
I am borderline diabetic. I literally can't afford another pound.
Ouch. That sucks.
Yeah, I would do it, even though I'm a fat little thing, and I have diabetes. Because, I can lose weight too. As long as I can still lose the weight. It's not a permanent pound. Now, if it was a permanent pound that you could never lose, I wouldn't do it.
Oh, no. Same here. I wouldn't do it if it was permanent. But hey, we're playing plenty of Pokemon Go. We're going to lose the weight.
Oh, yeah. Just John, you and I, every time we press the button, we have to walk an extra 2 miles.
Alright. Let's see. Our next one. You can see through people's clothes, but everyone knows when you do. So pervy. So you can be a pervert, but you'd have to be an obvious
What if
pervert.
you're watching, what if you're watching someone on TV, maybe a live stream, and then and then you do it, while they're, streaming? Are they like, hey, you, this user, I know what you're doing?
No.
I would assume it's people who can see you. So, like, if you're watching TV, other people in the room with you can tell you're doing that to the TV person. But, like, on a live stream, if you're by yourself, you know, maybe the person live streaming can tell. Maybe. Like, maybe your target knows, maybe they don't.
You know, honestly, this is a walking HR disaster ability. This would get you in so much trouble, corporate America. No. I would say no. Because corporate America, the second you even hint that you accidentally lose it, you're going to be walking in an HR office looking for a new job.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No.
I would push the button and get a job with a TSA. Boom. There we go.
Yeah.
You know what? No.
There we go.
No, not worth it. Not worth the awkward conversation that's going to happen later. Even if it is like
That's
Chris
true.
Evans, which, I don't know, he's filming, so he walks by my street. Because first of all, I know he's really shy, so if he knew I did that to him, it'd be a mess. It'd be like, I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. I won't tell.
It also takes a lot away from the magic.
Although it is funny too, just to imagine if you're doing it to someone like across the street, like in a distance. So you do, like, you're looking at them and they're across the street and they just go, "Hey!"
Alright.
Stop undressing me
another
with
one.
your eyes. I know what you're doing.
Here's another one. Alright. You become everything you've ever wanted to be. But you live as an avatar in the virtual world.
Like I do that all the time, or is it saying everything I want to be is, just in the virtual world?
Exactly. So you're basically Kirito from Sword Art Online.
I figured. I'm like, is this a Sword Art Online thing? That is a toughie.
Yeah.
For me, no.
Wait,
Here's
okay.
why.
It says you're
Because-
always... Okay, yeah,
No,
go.
because I already lived my life the way I want to live. I mean, I've authentically lived my life now for 5 years. Through all the changes I had to go through. And so, no. I'm happy with what I have in my life now. I've done everything I wanted to do in life. I mean, most of my goals have been accomplished. And I'm happy. So, no. I would tell people, instead of trying to get this magical power, just start living. Do what you want and achieve what you want in life. Don't let things stop you. Is that enough of a hippy-dippy lecture speech?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to say no, just because the virtual world has never really appealed to me. It's why I don't do video games much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Pokemon Go has me because of the overlay with the real world. Same as Ingress, because you're actually exploring something that's real. So I'm going to go with no, just because, like, what's the point of being what I want if it's not real, you know?
So it's everything you want. But, okay, wait, what was the catch again? That it's all in the virtual world, or you're stuck in the virtual world all the time?
You live in the virtual world, yeah.
Because
You live
I
as an
would
avatar.
love rich, successful, Obijin Simulator. That sounds like a fun game that I could play for a few hours and then get back to my actual life and try to do that in real life. It's not like, why can't this be my real life? I'd be like, this is so fun in game form.
Yeah, you could.
So I think I'd do it.
Yeah, you
I
can
don't
interpret
think
it as you're trapped in the as the avatar, or you only have everything you want to be when you are the avatar in the virtual world. So
I'll take it as that one, because then I'm gonna do it. Because I can still pull myself out, and I'm like, well, that was a fun 3 hours. Now back to my real life.
Nah.
Okay.
No, I'd say just live your life and make your life your own. That's what I would say.
All right, let's see. Oh, this is also an interesting one. All right. You can see and explore any and all worlds and places from fiction, your own imagination, or from history, but you cannot interact with them in any way.
Yes.
Oh my god,
I want this.
Oh my god, yes.
Okay. Yes. So you guys are fine with just being nothing but observers.
Oh my god.
Exactly!
Yes.
That's what I love doing!
Yes. That's what I exactly
Okay.
I would want that power to work.
Yeah, alright. Awesome.
Because
All right.
I don't want to,
So-
it's like, no, go back to what you were doing. Especially if, like, I'm trying to write my story, and I want to watch it play out. I don't want them noticing me. I'm like, okay, no, play it out. And basically be the director of, like a virtual world. It's like, no, go back. Change the script. And then I get to control it. Yes.
No. Because, I mean, I would go back in history and see so many historical things.
Yeah, same. Like,
The
yeah.
closest I've ever done to that is I've fallen asleep when the TV is on, so it puts me in the show. But of course the dialogue isn't going to change because I'm there, but I'm still in the show. Like, honestly, it happened. I fell asleep when I fell asleep when Nick at Night is on. And Fairly Odd Parents, like 4 a.m., came into my dream, and it was the episode when Timmy accidentally wishes he was a girl, and he ends up going to Trixie Tang's party, and she's actually kind of tomboyish, and I wanted to tell her so bad. It's like, no, Samantha is Timmy, but it wasn't working because it was just a dream.
But yeah, that power would be that I would have used the hell out of that power.
All right, let us end this podcast here on a happy note. Because this podcast is, of course, a more sophisticated affair where we like to leave you with an uplifting feel at the end. A thoughtful introduction, a careful conclusion, many thoughtful words said in between. Not like that other podcast where it's just a bunch of poop and fart jokes of no caliber whatsoever. Claudes. Anyway, so, yes, we'll wash up. Anything you guys want to plug? I mean, obviously, I've got Ice Brass Revolution at aesbrassrevolution.com. It's on Facebook /AESBrass. You can email me at aesbrass@gmail. It's on Twitter, aesbrass. I'm very consistent with the branding. If you see aesbrass, it's probably me or my co-dev, something. But it's related to this thing that I've made. So, anything that you guys want to plug?
HavenCon. I'll always plug HavenCon, but tickets went on sale. It's the greatest gay gamers convention I've been to in my life. Love it. Get your pre-sales now because it's going to sell out this year.
Yeah, well, I don't think it can sell out. I don't think there's a cap on attendance.
There's a cap on the amount of people that can be in that building.
Right. I don't think they're going to hit. It would be very weird if they hit that because that hotel can host much larger cons than HavenCon was last year.
I don't underestimate how many people are going to sign up for a con, even if it's a relatively new convention. Because, some new cons some new cons fizzle out. Others just blow up because everyone's like, hey, a convention. And the normal convention crowd in that city goes to it.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping Anime Austin succeeds. It'll be good to have another anime con here in Austin. And then I'm still waiting to hear back Anime Overload. I submitted a panel to him. I have not heard back whether I have a panel at Anime Overload, unfortunately. When I know, I'll let you guys know, and I'll let you know if I'm going. If they give me a panel, I'll go. If not, I probably will skip it in favor of staying at Oopal's to run the game. The other one, San Japan. I'm running a panel at San Japan. So the tabletop RPG workshop at Anime Austin will also be at San Japan. So if you miss it at one, you can catch it at the other. And I'll probably be submitting it. I'm still debating. I'm definitely going to be at Game Expo. RealmsCon, I don't know. Like, cost-wise, I don't know. I had to cut out a lot of summer cons. Like, Armadillo Con and Delta H I had to scrap just because I can't afford them, unfortunately. But RealmsCon, I'm looking at. I attended it last year. I've got a lot of Corpus Christi fans of the game. The Corpus Christi steampunk scene really loves Ice Brass Revolution, so I want to be there, but I don't know if I can afford it. So we'll see. Anything else, or shall we say good night?
Good night.
Good night. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right. Fare thee well, young explorers, and always remember the splendor in the brass. It shines bright. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a clever ending. I don't know. We'll work on that. All right. And done.